In this video of day 8 of our Tasmanian ride, we're going to do a Launceston loop, and this is going to incorporate a bit of gravel, so it's a totally recommended day if you want to do a bit of gravel and a bit of bitumen for the day. The video will show the climbing of Jacob's Ladder, more gravel to Upper Esk, which is quite steep, and then really good road conditions to Mathinna. Tower Hill Road was great with continuously changing conditions, and if we hadn't added gravel to our riding we would have missed this road through Rossarden and Stories Creek Road. It was fantastic, and so was the last bit of gravel riding, taking us through to Evandale before heading back to Launceston for a really good day's riding loop. The road to Ben Lomond is high quality and it's not too far from Launceston either. You turn off on Ben Lomond Road and it's about 14 kilometres to the beginning of Jacob's Ladder. So this is where the gravel great riding starts. It's a continuous incline as you weave your way up the mountain. It's very easy riding, nice and smooth fine gravel road. Being part of the Ben Lomond National Park, you are required to have a National Park pass. The road's fairly wide and pretty steep, but it's a good way to get you off to start the day. As you near Jacob's Ladder, you can see the road edges that they've reinforced, and it gets a little bit more of a drop off. And just around the corner is the beginning where it just has a little wider area, the beginning of Jacob's Ladder. Now, Jacob's Ladder itself isn't a big ride. It's only 1 kilometre from the beginning to the end of the Jacob's Ladder. It is narrower, however, and it doesn't always have a guardrail like you're seeing here, and the switchbacks can be pretty steep. And obviously videos never show you how steep things really are, but if you look above you can see the road that we're going to be travelling back on, and on occasions you'll see the road below. So it is quite a steep climb. You can see there it's very, very steep, but some of the switchbacks are quite wide, and it's absolutely a great ride to do. Ben Lomond National Park peaks 1572 metres, and in winter it's the alpine sports area for cross-country and downhill skiing and tobogganing. And it was great to learn when we got back down the bottom, the Ben Lomond base serves a coffee all year round. And it turns out the best place to stop for a photo where you can see each level of the road is this particular, the second last switchback, and Tony stops off there before continuing on.
Serendipities played a cruel trick on me, taking you so far.
The original plan when we got to the top was to just ride up to the Ben Lomond Alpine Resort, which is closed anyway, but we decided that we'd just turn around, get to the top, turn around and head on for the rest of the ride. But take a walk across to the peak here. The photos you get from this point are not quite as good as the lower spot down. So yeah, we headed back down, and you can see on the way down how steep it is, because on the way down you can actually see the road below, and you can see how far it is between one switchback and the next. just checking out those rock formations and looking at the view. I guess not everyone gets a perfect blue skies day like we had. We were quite blessed with the weather.
Till then I will sing this song.
You've only got to look at the views to understand that this really is a spectacular ride. It does require you to probably be confident with doing U-turns on a bit of an incline.
Seasons change, and it's growing cold. But I won't let my love, God bless my soul. I swear you dear, when you're cold, I'll be here.
And I have absolutely no idea why, but the GoPro recorded 0 sound on this entire day's trip. Every other day the sound did work, sometimes not perfectly, but it actually recorded 0 sound, so I've got no idea why that's happened.
Every breath of my life away, just to see.
Yeah, just reaching the bottom of the ladder, and then we stopped off here at the Ben Lomond base for our coffee before hopping back onto Blessington Road for a bit more bitumen before hitting the gravel again.
Someday we will be together.
We had originally mapped to stay on Blessington Road, which takes you up and around through Upper Blessington, but we thought we'd change and do Daryl and Jono's Ride the Byroads route.
Say maybe someday we will be together. Till then I will sing.
You can see why Daryl and Jono have chosen to go this particular way. It's quite a nice environment, rural riding, a little bit of bitumen in front of a few of the farmhouses. Very nice, passing through some forests before you get to the big climb out. Yeah, as you get closer to the junction before you rejoin back onto the C401, the road gets in much steeper, so that just adds to the ride, and you can see how it is relatively steep from that distance there. But we always say this, the GoPro always flattens the footage. We actually missed the recording along Upper Esk Road, which was all bitumen. It was very, very nice riding. I was very impressed with it. And that continued sealed all the way through to this Mathinna stop. Continuing through Mathinna, we were quickly on to gravel again. And this was one of the highlights of the day as well. There were several highlights, and this is one of them. It kicked off on Golden Gate Road. I guess we just didn't expect to be riding again on another Cliff's Edge road. Not so steep here, but it's very narrow. You wouldn't want to be riding along here with a car coming in the other direction. You can see this is, again, climbing for quite some time. I was just a little shocked that we're going to have this type of road, and I think it was just absolutely great. Not always perfectly smooth, but not too bad either. Yeah, turning onto Tower Hill Road, I sort of found this entire road right through to where it gets sealed again. This was just fantastic. It was different all along, all the way. Different environment, different scenery, different surface. Sometimes the surface is really easy going, like the start, and it gets a lot harder, narrower. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. It's also noticeable we seem to be riding an incline for quite a long way, so you think, okay, we're heading up, eventually we'll be heading down, and yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, and as you can see, the first half, certainly the first 3/4 of this road's very easy riding. I mentioned the scenery changes. Next minute you're in a forestry area. there's some regrowth trees here, and it opens up a bit, and we get a little bit tricked up a bit further where we're riding along here looking at how much view you've got, and all of a sudden the road, the wider road seems to go to the left, which we just naturally follow. We look at the GPS and we're actually supposed to stay on this road, which is actually the narrower road turning to the right. So that's what's going to happen very shortly. Yeah, you can see here how easy it is to go the wrong way. We were meant to turn off to the right there, so we just to go a little bit further and hop around this way and join back up. Now this is still called Tower Hill Road. I'm really glad we stayed on it, because although yes the road deteriorates and it becomes narrower, it was much more interesting riding. So now you did have to concentrate a little bit more. The road was broken up more, gravel was looser, a few more ruts and a lot more potholes. And it obviously was narrower as well, but it just was more interesting to be riding in this area. Some of the areas certainly looked here like there hadn't been any cars come through for quite a while. The trees were grown across the road a little. Certainly plenty of room for a motorbike. And I mentioned earlier we were climbing up for quite a while. Now we've started the decline down the mountain and obviously towards the plateau below. You don't notice it because the GoPro's stabilisation is so good that the road's quite corrugated as well, and the bouncing away every now and then you might see the wind screen in front popping up and down. But yeah, so look, it was good, it was great. It's a good big bike route to be riding on, thanks to Ride the Byroads. Now this corner's not too far from Fingal if you had to go for a coffee or whatever, but we're heading in the other direction, heading towards Avoca back on the A4. This is the Our Lady of Sacred Heart Catholic Church, Mangana. One of the benefits we've discovered from riding gravel roads is it's opened up the access to a bunch of bitumen roads we'd never ridden before, and this was a great little area to ride. The Blessington Road, very, very good. Stories Creek Road was just excellent. Yeah, Stories Creek Road winds its way down the mountain and was twisty after twisty, and the surface is very good as well, so it's just something we didn't expect and really enjoyed. It did seem strange, we're riding from very tiny townships towards the bigger town of Avoca, and there it is, dirt. The road turns to gravel, so that's one of the reasons why we wouldn't have ridden this before. So we almost needed a rest from the twisties, and we got that with this very easy riding 6 kilometres of gravel, which we rode down towards Avoca. We stopped off for a drink at the picnic area onto Paul's River, and then noticed the crop duster flying around. That was quite interesting watching him. Finished our gravel riding on Nile Road through to Evandale and had a late lunch at the pub.